Hey guys, welcome back to another episode here. We have the Major 1 and Rally here coming up actually today as I'm recording this a little bit later. Sorry I haven't released any videos lately. I've been a little under the weather, as you can probably tell by how nasally I sound. But here's just going to be, I think, my predictions for each of the group stage matchups. And kind of show you who I think who has the best chance of maybe upsetting if you are a challengers team coming in, and kind of give you my outlook on how I see this tournament going here. So the first group, Group A, you have the Minnesota Rokkr, I believe they're the #1 overall seed, versus Decimate Gaming. Decimate Gaming is, if you check here, Too Real, Hollow, Mack, and iLLeY. I like that team. But I think Minnesota Rokkr is just gonna have more firepower than them. We've seen kind of a little bit of what Too Real did last year. We've seen Hollow in the past. Mack and iLLeY I don't believe have been in the CDL, but I could be forgetting. I don't believe they have though. Anyways, I see the Rokkr probably winning this in a probably 3-0 fashion. They seem like a really solid team overall. And then for the second matchup in Group A here, you have the Guerrillas and the Subliners. I'm going to say Subliners. I'm going to say in 4. I think if it gets to a Game 5, then I think LAG will probably win that. But with the matches that have been playing the previous weekend, Subliners seemed that they really kind of figured something out there towards the end of it, so I would take Subliners in 4. I'd put Rokkr versus Subliners here, and I would take Rokkr probably to win that in a 3-2 fashion. There's not many teams that have looked really good all around. I think I know people will say Rokkr's 2-2. Because the whole OpTic forfeit thing. I don't disagree, but outside of that, they probably they have looked probably like one of the more stronger teams. In my opinion, anyways. And if they're facing off against either of these two teams really in the second round, I don't think they have the consistency to be able to go up against the Rokkr. So I have the Rokkr taking the first seed here. Then going in elimination, it would be Decimate Gaming versus LAG. And call me crazy, but I think Decimate Gaming will take this. Pushing them to go into, I believe, a rematch. Yes, it would be a rematch there. I don't know why they don't just do the typical pool play instead of doing this weird tournament elimination style thing. Anyways, so I would have Decimate Gaming beating LAG here, and so it would be Decimate Gaming versus New York Subliners, and I almost had Decimate Gaming winning this, but just looking at this team versus the Subliners, and how good the Subliners looked towards the end of last weekend's matches, I think the Subliners will probably win this and take the second seed here in Group A, so it'd be Minnesota Rokkr and the Subliners coming out. Here in Pool B, we have Toronto Ultra versus Polydrome. I don't know how. I totally just botched that. But that would be, I believe that's this Journey Lucky Super Nyako, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, looks like it is. So kind of like the old Heretics roster versus Toronto Ultra. I think Toronto Ultra is just going to have the better of them there. I probably put in a 3-1. I think the old Heretics roster could probably take either the Search or the Control. I think ultimately Toronto Ultra, with their slaying ability and with Standy being a early MVP candidate, I think Ultra will take it in 4. Then you have OpTic Texas and Florida Mutineers. Florida have looked better than what I thought they were going to look like this year so far. But OpTic Texas overall has looked pretty good. Outside of their little, they had a really fun matchup against LAT. Even though that stream was terrible to watch. But we've already seen these two teams kind of face off against each other. We know what they can do. And for that, I'm going to have OpTic Texas winning probably a 3-1 fashion as well. And that would put them against Toronto Ultra here in the qualifier round. And I think I'm going to give it to the Toronto Ultra in Game 5. I think Scrappy and Standy have been looking incredible. And OpTic Texas looks like they still need to fix a few things. I think Toronto is probably the better overall team currently, playstyle-wise. So I would have Toronto Ultra coming out as the 1 seed here in Group B. And then you have Florida Mutineers versus the old Heretics roster. I would actually probably take this Heretics roster over the current Florida Mutineers roster. Probably in a 3-1. I think Florida would take the hard point. Actually, I'm gonna go in 4. Florida would win the S&D, and I think the Spanish team can take on all the respawns. And that would push OpTic Texas versus the old Heretics roster, and I think OpTic's just, they're too good to not come out of groups here. And I do think that they will take that matchup, and probably in 3, honestly. Scump's been looking really good. Dashy's been looking alright. iLLeY's actually been looking really good for the most part. And, Shotzzy's been Shotzzy. So, I would have Toronto Ultra and OpTic Texas coming out in 1st and 2nd in Group B. Now, Group C here. This is going to get a little confusing here with the LAG Academy. But you have Atlanta FaZe and LAG Academy. LAG Academy is Assault Exceed, Diamondcon, and Joe Deceives. Don't know too much about Joe Deceives. I heard he's nasty. And I like the rest of them. I like Assault. I like Exceed. Diamondcon's cool. But it's Atlanta FaZe at the end of the day. So I would probably have Atlanta FaZe win this in a 3-1 fashion, sending them to the 2nd round of winners. And then you have the Royal Ravens versus Seattle Surge. I believe these two already matched up, and Seattle Surge won that, I believe, pretty convincingly. Or they won the round 1 hard point convincingly. They ended up winning, I think, in 4, but it was an ugly 4 after the first match. Regardless, I like the Royal Ravens. I think that they have made a nice start to the year. I like to see them build upon that. I don't think Seattle Surge... Actually, I do think Seattle Surge will probably end up taking this. I don't think the Royal Ravens are there yet to beat them. But if Seattle Surge continue to play sloppy, it's really anyone's game. But I would put Seattle Surge winning this probably in a Game 5 matter here. Which would put FaZe against Surge in the qualifier round. And when I looked at this current group, I thought, FaZe is obviously the number 1, and then it's just kind of a scrap for who's going to qualify here. So I have Atlanta FaZe winning it, probably in 4. I can see Seattle taking either the S&D or the first hard point. But yeah, I'd have Atlanta FaZe advancing first. So you have London Royal Ravens and LAG Academy. I'd like to think that the Royal Ravens could win this, but I really like to have upsets, especially with challengers teams, and so I'm actually going to go LAG Academy, probably in 5. Really get to see what Joe Deceives does. I see if Assault can and Diamondcon can get back in the league. So that'll eliminate the Royal Ravens. Then you have LAG Academy versus Seattle Surge, and I think here it's probably going to be Seattle Surge in a 3-0 fashion to qualify as the 2nd seed. So I'd have Atlanta FaZe and Seattle Surge. And then finally in Group D, if I am Team Elevate here, I would be very excited to be in this group here. because, I mean, if you look at it, it just seems like there's a lot of upset potential here. Obviously, I think everyone agrees that Thieves is going to come out here. Probably 3-0 the Legion, maybe 3-1. To move them to the qualifier round. Not much really to speak on that. I think Las Vegas have looked good, have also looked bad. Looks like they just seem like one of those middle of the road teams that need to fix a lot. For that reason, I have the LA Thieves winning probably in a 3-0 fashion. Here, Boston Breach versus Elevate. I'm trying to find where the Elevate. I can't remember what. Oh, here it is. So it's Gizmo, Harry, Vortex, and Denza. Okay. And honestly, that's a really good matchup there for the Breach versus Elevate. I would. With the inconsistencies of Boston Breach, do I think the Elevate could do it? I'm gonna say Boston Breach will win it in 5 to face off against the Thieves, and I think the Thieves will take that probably in a 3-1 fashion to get the first seed. And then it'd be Elevate versus Legion. I honestly like Elevate over it. I think Elevate would win probably in a game 5 there, and push on to get a rematch against the Breach here, and I'm gonna say actually Elevate wins that, probably in another game 5 there. So I would have LA Thieves and Elevate, the Challengers team, making it out. And unfortunately, my Minnesota Rokkr Academy team, the team I really was looking forward to seeing, did not qualify. You see there, the 3-1 Team Heretics lost to LAG Academy and then lost to that Team Heretics team. So that was, I'm a big GodRX fan, so I was really hoping to see that happen. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this episode. If you guys did enjoy, please leave a like and consider subscribing. And with that, we'll see you guys later. Peace.